on. But yeah, we'll start standing. So finding your way to the top of your mat and letting yourself just settle into Tadasana, into mountain pose. So you might take a moment to set the shape up and just bring your feet kind of underneath your hips, make sure that your feet are parallel and that it feels stable. We've all got different sized hips. So, you might have your feet a little bit narrower or a little bit wider, just depending on what feels nice and stable for you. And as you do that, it's taking your toes off the ground, spreading them and then placing them back down. As you feel all four corners of your feet on the ground, you might like to let your eyes softly close. You can give your shoulders maybe a little bit of a roll up and back a few times. And then let your arms relax down by your sides. Perhaps the palms face forwards. So little fingers towards you as you kind of spin your shoulder blades onto the back of your heart, opening through your chest. Just make sure you're not locking your knees. There's a kind of a softness to your knees so that you can lengthen your tailbone down to the ground and the top of your head can lift up towards the sky. And as you land here, take a breath in, maybe a big sighing breath out so that you can find just a little bit more softness in this shape, steadiness and softness. And feeling ourself grounded here in this mountain, imagining that you are one of those mountains that surround us here in the Alpine valleys. And taking a moment to acknowledge the country that we're on and paying respects to the elders, the first peoples of this land, and those that are in the past, those in the present, and those leaders that are emerging. And you might also like to set yourself an intention for this practice today. In this short time to be in our bodies and flow with our breath. What is it that brings you to step onto your mat? You might bring the palms of your hands together, Anjali Mudra. We stand in this shape with this hand gesture. We call it Samastitihi, this ready, balanced and ready pose. And there, as you next inhale, you might blink open your eyes if you like. You can keep them closed if you prefer. Take your arms, your hands out to the sides and stretch them all the way out and up. Reach them up towards the sky. And then folding forwards, bringing the hands down through the center line, rolling all the way down. Nice strong legs as you do that, supporting you. And just letting your hands come down towards the ground, or you might like to have a block or something, anything that's shaped or it can be used like a block, just resting your hands on there. If you feel comfortable too for this first forward fold, maybe your hands come to your elbows. You can just give your shoulders a little bit of a roll here, encouraging any tension to release from your shoulders and your neck. You might shake your head no and nod it yes. And in this shape, your knees can be really bent here. That's totally okay if you can't straighten out the legs due to hamstring tightness or lower back tightness. But eventually we want to try and let the upper body, the arms and the head, be kind of like a weight, sort of like on a fishing line. We have that weight that draws the line down into the depths of the ocean. We want to have that weight that kind of pulls the spine along. And take a breath in. And as you breathe out, see if you can find a little more heaviness there. You can release your hands from your elbows, bringing your fingertips back onto the floor or block, or hands to your shins if you prefer. And then just draw your heart forwards and lift your chest, look forward slightly, keeping the neck nice and long. Exhale again, forward fold. And then again, lifting your chest halfway. And then we'll pick up the left foot. As many steps as you need to, step that foot all the way back and find a lunge. Nice long runner's lunge. Hands framing your front foot. And take a breath in here. And a breath out, maybe letting your hips sink a little bit more towards the ground. And keep your left hand on the floor or bring it onto a block if you prefer. And then right hand peeling across your chest and up towards the sky if that feels okay. Take a breath in there. And then sweep that arm forwards and down. And we'll do 2 more like that. So peel the arm across your chest and up. And then sweep it forwards and down. And 1 more, reaching up. And then sweeping up and over. And then bring your left knee down and we'll step all the way back to find a kneeling plank. So shift your weight forwards. Spread your hands, press the floor away. Inhale there. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way down to your belly. We'll come into a little baby cobra from here. Tops of the feet pressing down. Slink your chest up, drawing the heart forwards, rolling your shoulders away from your ears. And then lower yourself back down again. And then lift yourself all the way up onto your knees. And we'll just stretch back into child's first. So stretching your hips back. Keep the hands on the ground, maybe the arms lifted so that you can find quite an active child's. Full breath in. And full breath out. And then come up to all fours. And from all fours, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, drop your belly, lift your chest. And then exhale, round through your spine. From there, come back to neutral, tuck your toes, we'll find downward facing dog. And then we'll step that left foot forwards between the hands, coming back into our runner's lunge. And then stepping your right foot to join your left foot. Take a halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. Let your head relax down. And we'll roll all the way up to stand. Nice strong legs as you roll up. Drawing up through the inner ankles, inner thighs, hands to the sky. And then letting your hands rest back at your heart again. Inhale, sweep out and up. Forward folding as you exhale. Lift your chest halfway. Right foot steps back this time, all the way back into your runner's lunge, hands framing the front foot. So sinking your hips down slightly. So make sure, best you can, that left knee is over the ankle. Inhale and exhale here. Sending your right heel back behind you. And then right hand on the floor or grabbing your block, peel your left arm now across your chest and up as we twist through the spine. Inhale there. Exhale, sweep the arm all the way up and over your head. Back down to the ground again before you peel it across your chest again. There's this real sense of opening up through the chest, twisting the spine, and then sweep back up and over again. Last time. And peel the arm across your chest. And then sweep up and over. Bringing that back knee down to the floor. Step back, find your kneeling plank. Press the floor away, inhale. Exhale, lower to the mat. Maybe you lift up a little bit higher this time in your cobra. And still the feet, tops of the feet pressing into the floor, the heart drawing forwards. And then lower back down. Press back up onto your knees. Maybe you press all the way to your toes this time into plank, looking forwards. And then let's lift up and back, downward facing dog. Spread the palms, feel the rims of your palms on the ground. Soften through your elbows. Soften through your knees. Full breath in, full breath out. And let's step the right foot all the way forwards, looking forwards. And then stepping the left foot to join your right foot. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Roll all the way to stand, strong through your feet and your legs, sweep up. And then hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your chest. Step your left foot back again, and then drop down to your left knee. We'll come up into Anjaneyasana, a low lunge this time. So the back toes can be tucked under or flat, just depending on what you prefer for stability. Inhale. And exhale, hands can be together or apart. From here, let's take it into a little side bend. So the right elbow coming to the left, to the right thigh, and then your left arm reaching up and over the top. Keep your hips nice and stable. Keep the lower ribs drawing in as you find that side bend. One more breath there. And then come back to center. Taking that left hand down to your back thigh, reach your right hand up, and then just stretching back slightly there. So lifting your chest and finding a little bit of a back bend. You can keep the right hand on the thigh if you prefer. Come back to neutral, sweep both hands up. And then take your hands to the mat. Step all the way back, find plank. Lower your knees to the ground, lower all the way down, or you can come down on your toes if you like to, if you're strong through your core and your shoulders, lift your chest. Press back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, runner's lunge. And then this time, walk your hands forward slightly, lift your right leg if you can off the ground. Flex the foot, extend the heel back behind you. Inhale there. Exhale, step the foot to the floor, forward fold. Roll yourself all the way to stand, sweep up. And then hands to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Step your right foot back. Drop down onto that right knee this time, sweep your hands up, low lunge. Taking a breath here so that you can really find that stability through the legs. So drawing up through those inner thighs, tailbone anchoring down to the floor, just your height, your width of your legs if you need to. And then left elbow onto your left thigh, right arm stretches up and over. Making sure it's not kind of a turn towards the side, that we're really taking this into a side bend. And feel those lower ribs, side ribs opening, feel that right hip flexor opening. Another breath here. Relax your shoulders. Inhale back to center. Take your right hand back to that back thigh, either the left hand staying on your knee as you lift up, or you might lift your left hand, draw up through your inner thighs, lift your chest, squeeze the buttocks. Back to center, both hands down to the mat. Let's step back, find plank, lowering down through your chaturanga. Lift up to your cobra, or maybe you lift your hips now, draw your heart forwards, up dog, and pressing back all the way to downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling here. A little bit of movement, if you like, in your down dog as you bend one knee, draw the opposite heel to the floor, maybe sway your hips from side to side. And then from there, stepping your right foot forwards, find your runner's lunge. Walk your hands forward, lift your left leg, flex the foot, heel pressing back behind you. Inhale. Exhale, foot to the floor, forward fold. Let's roll all the way up, reach up. And hands to the heart. And come down into Utkatasana, into chair, sinking your hips down and back, sweeping your hands forwards. Weight maybe ever so slightly back into the heels. Take an inhale there, lift your chest, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway left. We're going to step both feet back to plank this time. You can come straight to down dog from here, or again, flow through your vinyasa. Pressing back, downward facing dog. I'm going to step the right foot forwards between your hands, ground your left heel, come up warrior one. So right knee stacked over that right ankle. The left outside edge of your left foot pressing down into the ground. Tailbone lengthens, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank, either lowering down through your chaturanga again, or pressing straight back down dog. Child is always there if you need it. Stepping left foot forwards, right heel ground, sweep up, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. 2 more breaths here. Find that inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose as best you can. Building a little heat, hands down to the ground, stepping back through your flow. Back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to your hands, step or float your feet to the front, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Sweep your hands up, sink your hips, chair. And then standing up all the way, hands to the heart. Just come down, chair again. Sink your hips down and back, sweep your hands up. Find a twist here. Bring your feet together, hands to your heart. Left elbow to the outside of your right thigh in your twisted chair. So hugging the upper arm against the knee, against the outer thigh, and then draw your heart towards your hands. Keep your hips and knees in alignment so this movement comes from the spine. And then really nourish that with breath, inhaling and exhaling. One more. Inhale all the way back to center. Sweep your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Feet, hips distance apart. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, sink your hips down. Sweep your hands up again. Bring your feet together, hands to your heart. Let's twist the other way. Right elbow to the outside of left thigh this time. Find your shape here. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, sinking your hips lower than your heart. And as you find that bind with the elbow against the thigh, see if you can draw your torso away from your thighs. Draw your left shoulder back. Keep breathing. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Separate the feet, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step all the way back, find plank. Let's take side plank from here, right hand into the center. Maybe your right knee drops underneath your right hip, or you can extend both legs, stacking them on top of each other. Draw your lower ribs in. Press the floor away with that right hand. Nice long line along your spine. And then both hands to the ground again. Step back to plank. Let's swap to the other side, left hand into the center. Again, it could be left knee underneath your hip, or it could be both legs extended. Breathing in and breathing out. Lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. One more breath. And then both hands down, find plank. You might lower down through chaturanga here, or you can find your way into down dog or child's. And that's from there. Step the right foot forwards, ground through your left heel, reach up, find warrior one. Open, find warrior two. Right ankle, right knee staying over that right ankle as you extend your arms out to the sides. Looking past those right fingertips. And again, breathing in, breathing out through the nose. Turn your right palm to the sky. Nice big reverse warrior. Find that side bend action. And then windmill your hands to the ground. Step back, find downward facing dog. Left foot steps forwards, find warrior one as you inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Left knee over the left ankle this time. Right toes maybe turning slightly forwards as you find your torso centered over your hips. Reach those arms out, shoulder height. Shrug your shoulders to your ears and then relax them down. Left palm to the sky, big reverse warrior. And then windmill your hands all the way down. Find your way back to plank. One more flow here if you like. through chaturanga, lifting up to your back bend, pressing back downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to your hands, step your feet all the way forwards, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And just letting your body fold forwards here. Maybe your hands take your elbows again. As you allow the weight of your torso to gently draw your spine longer and longer. And 3 more full breaths here. There's a slight drawing up through your inner thighs and your pelvic floor, supporting your body. Allowing your upper body to relax as best you can. Allow your face to relax. And release your hands. Nice strong legs. Slowly roll yourself all the way up. Sweep up, reach up. Hands coming down to your heart. Let's just take a balance here. Balancing on your right leg first into Vikshasana tree. So spreading your right toes. Lift your left knee up. And then you can take that knee out to the side. Place it either on the ankle, the inner calf, or drawing it up towards your inner thigh. And squeeze your right buttock, press the inner thigh into, or the inside of the leg into the foot. And then if you like, hands might reach up towards the sky. You could bring the first finger and thumb together, Jnana Mudra. Softening your face and your jaw as you find something in front of you to focus on. And then slowly bring your hands back down to your heart. Drawing the hands together. Take your knee forwards. Take both feet back to the earth. Just give your ankles a little shake. Give your hips a little wiggle from side to side. Swapping to the other side. Left foot spreads. Strong left leg. Squeezing that buttock. Lift up and out of that hip as you take your right foot off the floor. Placing your foot to your inner thigh or your inner ankle. And draw up through the top of your head, maybe your hands reaching up towards the sky. And 5 more breaths here if you can. And if you wobble and fall out, growing from the ground back up again. And bringing your hands back down to your heart. And take your knee forwards. And slowly with control, both feet back down onto the earth again, finding mountain, hands down beside your body, lifting up through the top of your head. Let's take a couple of breaths here. We're going to make our way all the way down onto our backs from here. So you can bring yourself down to your seat and lower yourself down onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest as you get there. Nice big squeeze. And then allow your feet to land on the floor about hips distance apart, spreading your feet on the ground. And we'll come up into a bridge from here. So arms down beside your body. Rolling the shoulder blades a little underneath you. And spread your feet, press into your feet. Start to tuck your tailbone, squeeze your buttocks a little, and then lifting your hips off the ground without letting the knees splay out to the sides. To keep the knees nice and parallel. And if you've got the space to, you can roll the shoulders under even more, interlace your fingers, if that feels okay. Letting that stretch through the shoulders and the chest, as well as opening up through the fronts of your hips. Nice and strong through your legs and your buttocks, supporting your body to open. And again, just relaxing through your throat, your jaw and your face. About 2 more breaths here if you can. You can release your hands down out from underneath you and slowly lower your spine down. So see if you can keep nice and strong through the legs. You might even lift up onto your toes, creating space to drape your spine back down onto the earth again. And as you lower your sacrum and your lower back down, pressing them gently down into the ground, you might bring your knees and knock them in towards each other. And we'll finish with a twist here. So your choice, you could just bring your knees together, arms out in a T shape, and let your knees drop over to the left side. If you'd like, maybe your right leg crosses over your left to find a twisted roots. Knees dropping to the left and your head might turn to the right, keeping your right shoulder nice and grounded. Really finding the twist that feels good in your spine today. It could even be right knee drawn in, left leg extended. Really enjoying this massage for the spine. So important to keep our spine mobile and healthy and allow that free flow of breath and energy and information to travel along that superhighway. You can bring your knees back to center. Just hug them in towards you, maybe shifting your weight slightly, your hips slightly into the center, over to the other side as you find your twist to the right. Knees moving to the right, perhaps head moving over to the left. And about 5 full breaths here. In and out through your nose as best you can. And bringing your knees all the way back up to center. Hug them in towards you again. And perhaps here, just extending your legs up towards the sky, just in a really simple legs up inversion. So your sacrum stays grounded, your belly, lower back pressing down into the ground, and your legs just lifting up, and the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Your arms rest just a little away from your body. Allowing the weight of your legs to bring some pressure into the lower back and sacrum. Often a part of our spine that can be a little sensitive. And as you do that, really lengthening out through the rest of your spine, the top of your head, lengthening away from the tailbone. One more full breath in, and then as you breathe out, just bringing your feet back down to the ground again. Resting there for a moment before you come into Shavasana, extending your legs long. You might place something under your knees, let your feet fall out to the sides, keeping the arms just resting with a little space between your arms and your body, backs of the hands on the floor if you can, and a space between the legs so that your pelvis can be nice and even, as long as that feels okay. Perhaps adjusting yourself so that your chest can fall open and so that your back of your neck is long. If you need to pop something under the back of your head so that your chin's not jutting up towards the sky, finding that neutral spine in this shape with the props if you need to. And then taking a full breath in and sighing your breath out as you allow your body to become more heavy on the ground. And then allow your breath just to fall into its own natural rhythm. Staying here for a minute while we just let the body soak up the goodness of that practice. As always, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. If you're ready to move, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deeper breath, rolling yourself gently to one side before you use your hands to support you to come back up into a seat. And just finding a comfortable seat either on your knees or sitting in Sukhasana, cross-legged easy seat. And bring the palms of your hands together. Anjali Mudra, center of your chest. And close our practice with the sound Om, if you'd like to. You can listen or join in as we chant this sound, feeling it maybe moving from the base of your spine all the way up and out, and perhaps offering your practice up with that sound to someone that might need it. We'll take a clearing breath first. Inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale to Om. Om. And then bringing the thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, that connection with your own deepest wisdom. Your thumbs can draw to the center of your chest for your connection with all those around you. And then taking a bow forwards to honor your connection with the earth. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Let me know if you've got any questions.